Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about how to get over a relationship. So the first thing that I want to discuss with you is time. That's the big one. That's the one thing that's going to really help you get over an ex, get over that past relationship. Time. There is no, quick fix to getting over someone. Now, obviously, some relationships are more intense than others. Some relationships are more longer than others. So obviously a relationship that you've been in for 10 years is going to be a lot more difficult to get over and is going to require a lot more time to get over than, let's say, a relationship that was only about 4 months, right? But in saying that, you still need time to get over that person. And, obviously with longer relationships, it may require more time. With shorter relationships, obviously requires a lot less time. But it also can depend on how much you really felt and cared about that person, how much you really loved them. Sometimes if you have a really intense feeling towards someone, that can take just as long to get over as a long-term relationship. Sometimes even people that are sort of like loving people from afar and never even get in a relationship with someone can still take a long time to get over having that connection with that person. So, you got to give yourself plenty of time to be able to heal over these things. There's no quick fix. I know it may seem like, if you're on social media, how fast it seems like people get over relationships, but in reality, it does take a long time. So don't take too seriously what you see on social media. If it seems like everybody's going from one relationship straight into another, having a relationship after relationship, I guarantee that they're not working through their problems truly, and they've probably got a lot of other issues going on, because it's not healthy to jump from one relationship straight into another within a matter of weeks or sometimes a matter of days. So you do need time to heal and get over these things properly, and as a coach, I want you to get over these things in the proper manner and not go from one relationship straight into another without having time to reflect, having time to heal, having time to, really truly get over it. Now, the thing is, though, is that this isn't sort of, getting over a relationship. It's not like one day you're going to have amnesia and you're just going to completely forget about them. You're never going to get to a point where you have completely forgotten about them unless you have some memory loss problem, right? But most people generally don't until they get old, right? So you're going to remember this person for a long time. You're going to be in the car one day and a song's going to play on the radio and it's going to remind you of a time when you were with them, or it's just going to remind you of the relationship. You're going to have like little triggers here and there that's going to make you remember them. But ultimately, with time and with healing, these like triggers won't be as intense. So for example, when you first have a breakup, everything sort of triggers you and gets you upset and gets you thinking about them, and can really put yourself in a tailspin basically, and it can make you emotionally feel really bad. But the good news is that with time, those feelings get less intense. So even if you do have a memory that crops up, even if something spikes, spikes in emotion, spikes in memory, to remember them, like if you hear a song on the radio or you go past a restaurant that you used to eat at, it's not going to be as bad. It's not going to feel as bad as what it did at the beginning of a breakup when your emotions are really raw. So you've got to give yourself plenty of time. Now, I personally think that 6 months is the minimum before you should start dating again. Give yourself at least 6 months to start healing before you go back into the dating world. So the next thing that I want to get into, which will help you get over a relationship, and it's just something that I would like it'd be really nice if you could do it, basically, because it's going to be so good for yourself, and that is to not burn the candle at both ends. Because what usually happens when someone goes through a breakup or they get rejected or something, like that happens, something, where you get your heart broken, basically, a lot of people start burning the candle at both ends. So that means they start to binge eat, or they drink too much, or they just go crazy, like they change their whole wardrobe, they get like a crazy hairstyle, they may get a hair, like a tattoo or something. You see a lot of people doing this kind of thing. And some of it, it's okay to do, as long as it's not something that you're doing all the time. Like, it's okay, like if you had a breakup and you go out with your friends and you let off some steam. That's fine. Just as long as it's not something that you're doing frequently and a lot. Obviously, there's some people out there that do all these kinds of things alone, like they suffer in silence, they just drink and eat bad and do bad things to themselves at home, so I don't want you to be doing that. Like, if you feel like you're that and you feel like you're isolated, then what I would really appreciate that you do is if you, maybe start seeking help from a therapist, or you just start hanging out with friends, start reaching out to people, start talking to people again. Don't isolate yourself from the world because you got your heart stomped on. I know it sucks, I know it hurts, but try not to do that. Don't isolate yourself in your room or in your house and not talk to anybody, right? Now, it doesn't mean that you have to talk about the relationship. You don't have to do that. You don't have to talk about the breakup. You don't have to talk about your feelings or anything. Just be around people, right? Because it really does help you. Another thing that you can do is, like, once a week, or just for a couple of hours a week, volunteer somewhere and get yourself out there and start helping, start giving back to whatever community that you live in, because I feel like doing something like that really does help get you grounded, and of course it helps you socialize a bit better, and it just makes you feel a lot better. Now, I'm not saying everyone's like that. I'm not saying everyone is like, isolating themselves and doing things like that, but I do know that some people will watch this video and be in that kind of situation. So please surround yourself with people, but obviously you don't want to be surrounding yourself with the wrong sort of people. So make sure they're people that uplift you, that make you laugh, that make you feel good, that aren't going to facilitate you burning the candle at both ends. So that means they're people who are good influences, like they're not going to, make you go on a binge of any sort of kind, where you're going to be burning the candle at both ends. Make sure that they're decent human beings who aren't going to draw you into something like that, so you can heal properly. And the reason why I say to not burn the candle at both ends, because sometimes it feels good to do those things, which is why I say it's okay to do that kind of thing occasionally, just as long as it's not happening every week, right? Have maybe like 2 months, twice every 2 months or something like that. Like, so once a month you can go and do something like that. But most of the time, try and do things that are nourishing, that are empowering for you, because if you're burning the candle at both ends, you're not going to be feeling good about yourself, and you already feel crappy because of the breakup. So you want to make sure that you're doing things that are good for you, because they'll make you feel better about yourself. So that means having some exercise. If you're not someone who has been exercising, then just do 15 minutes of exercise. You don't have to do something, massive and strenuous. Just start off small. If you feel like you can't manage doing like a full workout, or going to do a full session at a gym, or doing like some kind of like lesson at a gym, like like a yoga class or a spinning class or whatever it is, So another thing that you want to do is have at least one project that you can work towards, that inspires you, that gives your life a lot of meaning. So this could be like a side project, like a side hustle, or it could be, a hobby, like learning a new language. Have something, what inspires you? What's something that you've always wanted to do, but you've never been able to do it, or because of the relationship, or just because you've never, really thought about it that much, or you just haven't taken action on it. So try and find something like that, that truly inspires you. And that's going to really help you, because it's going to help you take your mind off things. And that's what you want to do basically when you're going through a breakup, as well as like perhaps maybe talking to a therapist about it. You also want to have things that can take your mind off of it as well, that are good for you. So you're not sitting at home all the time just dwelling and thinking about them and looking through their old photos, waiting for a message for them. If you're one of these people that wants to get their ex back, you don't want to be doing anything like that. You want to be filling your time up with things that are inspiring, that make you feel good, and obviously not burning the candle at both ends. Make sure that these things actually genuinely empower you. And when to start dating again, like, so what I said, you at least wait 6 months before you start dating again. I preferably, it may take you even more time, like I said, depending on how long the relationship was, how intense it was, but give yourself at least 6 months before you start dating again. And that's personally what I would do if I went through a breakup, if my relationship ended, if my marriage ended. This is what I would personally do, right? And I can only go from my own experience and what I personally believe, and what I would do myself. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get coaching with me and you would like a little bit more assistance, obviously I'm not a therapist, so I can't help you with your psychological problems, but I can help you with tips on how to get over these sort of things. as best to my with my knowledge that I have. So thank you so much for watching, and go to www.christineloveridge.com if you'd like coaching with me and you'd like that extra assistance. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.